again.
We had spoke about that. I thought we were gonna buy some purchase others. Yeah.
But you haven't yet. So you can-
Yeah. Done about 100 different things through the course of the day, and then they drop on. Yeah.
and go on to the next thing.
Looks like 9 o'clock.
It still says 8:59. But it's probably close enough. Say pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes and agenda as presented.
I'll second it. And a motion from Derby and a second from Jensvold to approve the minutes and agenda. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, 9 a.m., Julie Stinson, Treasurer, and Steve Hepperly, Sheriff, to discuss with possible action on a resolution for the Sheriff's Reserve Fund.
So back in 2000, well, it was August of 2013, we opened a Sheriff's Reserve bank account because their money went into a special account. And that is pretty much dissolved, according to Steve. They're not using that fund anymore. The fund itself is going dormant because no activity on it. So we reached out to Elizabeth as well and asked her how to handle the special fund of the Sheriff Reserve. And she said, you know, it started up back in 2013, so we don't even have any idea where that money came from, but it's something that the sheriff could spend from. So she said, basically, if that is no longer an active account, it could go to the general fund. So I talked to Steve about it, and he was in agreement too that they have no need for that fund. We have $129.98 in there. And we would just like to have this resolution passed to transfer that money to the general fund.
Sorry, it isn't more.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, they've used it, you know, it started out, we had 3,000 in it, but they've used the money through the years to get what they needed when that fund was active, so. Does that sound good to you, Steve?
Perfect.
Okay, so I drew up this resolution. And it's just asking that it gets transferred from the Sheriff Reserve account to the general.
I guess I'll make a motion to approve the resolution for the Sheriff's Reserve Fund to be transferred to the general fund.
I'll second it. A motion from Derby and a second from Jensvold to pass a resolution for the Sheriff's Reserve Fund. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Let's see, you want to wait for Susan to sign it?
No, you sign it as vice chair.
Do you want a copy of that, Steve?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Susan has joined.
Morning, Susan.
Good morning.
So we just passed the resolution
I wonder if he has to stamp it.
transfer the Sheriff's Reserve Fund.
You stamped it, it has the signature spot on it?
Go ahead and sign, Carla, and I can get one to Steve.
I need the
Okay.
original.
Sounds
Sure.
good.
I just got done forging your signature.
I should have left my stamp.
Yeah.
Okay, well, thank
All right,
you.
thank you. Have a good day.
I will make a copy and bring it over to you.
Okay, perfect.
Well, number 3, discussion with possible action regarding nuisance ordinance.
Guys, I think that I was the one who put that one on there, and that was just to have that discussion about that property up in the northeast corner of my district about someone having a yard area.
That was the one you and I were looking at?
Yes.
So
So I think
what are you looking to do here?
actually Matt Duvet put together a letter that was approved by Kelsey, and it was sent out, and I believe it was sent out certified mail. I just wanted you guys to be a bit aware of what was going on. So I haven't heard any farther except for that the letter was being sent out.
So we're acting on an existing ordinance just being enforced.
Yeah. Yep.
All right. It's good information to know.
Neighbor who has close neighbors has started a salvage yard, I guess, kind of.
Without permitting.
Yes.
Thank you for coming.
So there's no action by us today then?
Nope. I just wanted you to be aware and on record of what was happening.
All right, thank you.
Okay. Scott Meinger's engineer will discuss secondary road matters. Just get 75.
Pick up the phone.
You gotta pick up.
Otherwise you're gonna drop it.
Oh, that's, okay.
No, 75.
Is that in the hallway?
No.
Discuss questions. Second, try Becky. She's 75.
She's 32.
75, 32. Yeah, Becky, this is Bill Jensvold. Is Scott down there? You gonna tell him we're ready for him? All right, thank you. I suppose we can do open forum while we're waiting.
Under open forum, I'd like to put it on our agenda for next Tuesday to discuss the different avenues we take to solve our EMS problems, just the process of it. Not so much the funding, but just the process, different ideas that have come out there, because I came out of that meeting, that last meeting, very confused, and I'd like to have more information. I'm gonna try and call Andy and see if he's coming up with some numbers, and maybe talk to Thomas, and try to sort this out before the next meeting.
There you go. Scott, engineer, will discuss secondary road matters.
Morning. We got a slow week here with the 4th of July holiday, so we didn't get L23W bridge down by Lawrence Gooden. It's ready to set the pipe probably next week. Last week didn't go as well as planned, so they weren't able to get it in the hole and blind it. So that'll be closed for a couple of weeks yet. And then they'll move to the next one, E36W1.
That's the one north of Leland.
That one is south, piece to Buffalo Center.
Oh. Somebody was asking me about the one in the paper that goes north of Lee.
I'm trying to do my best about putting people on notice without, I don't want to say over-promising. It's hard to give a good timeline. You want people to be kind of aware of it, but it's hard to give an exact date because one little change of plans causes about a week's difference. So,
So the second one's gonna be, or the next one's gonna be, you say, over by Buffalo?
yep. And then some of it depends on availability of precast as well. So if we can get concrete pipe, we'll move up south of Benji on our 50. That's about all I can tell you. And a couple more yet. The one by called Derby Insight, and then the other one G16N1 in Newton Township.
So where's that one at then?
It is on.
Give me the road name.
Four 40th Street,
So that's,
half mile west of our 50,
yeah. So that'd be our lat 2 off of DD11.
right? DD1. DD1 lot 2.
DD1, yeah, right.
So we'll fit them all in. We'll just kind of play it by ear. I can tell you the next one we're going to, but that's about it.
So 3 of them are involved in DD1 then.
Yeah. Yeah, which fortunately we have all the redesigns or clean out project plans to hit the flow line elevations right on. We'll get a little help from Jacobs and Westergaard to make sure those are perfect.
All right.
I guess I don't have anything.
Oh.
Okay. Other than I golfed with your uncle last week.
I want to guess my Uncle Dale, but I know my Uncle Jimmy's been around too.
Jim.
Yeah. Looking for activities in his retirement.
Yeah, it sounds like he was
I
working.
mean, he likes golfing.
We had fun. Okay. Auditor's office will discuss drainage matters. What is that, 7511?
You gotta pick it up.
Yeah. We're ready for you. All right, thank you.
We covered all the open forum then.
Probably not.
Here she comes.
Morning.
Good morning.
All right.
I had, Helgeson drainage was in, and there's the last part of DD 92 that has not been cleaned. needs it, and he has a petition signed, and so we're gonna clean that. So he has a map that I will print a copy for the landowners, so they know why we're doing it. So the top part was done in 2020, this part was done in 19, and now they'll do this part in 2022. So it's not like they're doing the same thing twice. So, because there's been a lot with DD 92. So I just want to make sure that they know why we're doing it. And it won't involve the part that we're going to be redoing for the improvement project. Other than that, I don't have anything.
Hey, Chris, this is Susan. Can you hear me all right?
I can.
Okay. So are we still on for Thursday to meet behind the care center about that drainage issue?
Yeah, as far as I know, I haven't heard anything different. I did talk to Sean Helgeson, and he said first thing in the morning would be great, about 8:30. I don't know what you have found out from anybody.
Yeah. I thought I was only supposed to contact Randy Golden.
Yes.
Is there anybody else I need to contact?
Not to my knowledge. So I will make sure that 8:30 works for everybody.
Okay, so just see you then. That sounds good.
Okay. All right.
You're gonna bring any paperwork that we need, any maps for show and tell.
Yes, I have a file going already.
Perfect.
Perfect.
That's great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Nothing else for drainage? Okay, discussion with possible action regarding DD 89 possible improvement project.
Okay. Alan Johnson is a landowner, and he would like to have the tile lowered. He has some pictures. Did he contact your office? I believe he did.
Stopped in, yeah.
Yep, and then he came in and signed the petition. He knows it's an improvement, he knows it's a process. His pictures, I can put it here for both of you. Sorry. So there's an area.
Not very far below the ground, is it?
No, and it's in Mount Valley. Down right the orange. So Susan, that would be your area. My thoughts is we would have to start with an engineer. So I put the possible action if you wanted to appoint an engineer today. That's how we start.
How big a chunk is it?
I'm sorry, Susan?
So you say it's an improvement, how large a project is it?
It looks like it goes a couple miles, so I'm not sure, without an engineer looking at it, to know what would be needed.
So lowering the entirety of the main
I'm not sure.
from the ditch or,
Would it,
It drains into DD2.
right?
is it I'm guessing it's not at its intended grade.
Right.
So would it be an improvement or not?
Well, and it's broken up,
Well, no.
so it
yeah.
needs to be
No, the repair there.
Right.
But also, if, a lot of them float up over the years, and then you can bring them back down to what was intended without an improvement.
So we can start with that.
So where's this picture at that you were showing us? I think probably.
There's that one. And this one.
Looks like it's been repaired before.
And you know what the location of this is?
No, I don't. Section 23. But I don't know what,
He just wants to lower it, he's not making it bigger.
Right. So we can have a contractor start and
Still,
just,
if we can grab the file and see how deep that was supposed to be, kind of elevation.
here, and how big a tile, that I didn't.
Oh, it looked like it's probably,
Well, here's 30, 24, 22,
I was gonna say, it looked like it's probably
18,
decent.
16. So that one looks pretty big, so that's gotta be the lower end. Average depth, 6.4 inches. Do they measure that to the bottom or the top?
I don't know what they did in the 100 years ago.
Yeah. If you have a 30-inch tile that's 6 foot deep, you know,
Is it 6 foot or 6 inches you said?
it says 6.4
Well, is that inches or feet?
feet.
I would assume.
I would
They
assume
never,
feet.
they would never put anything 6.4 inches
Just
deep.
looking at the
I
chart.
wouldn't think so, but
Wouldn't be, wouldn't,
wouldn't get anywhere.
this is what put a waterway in, man.
I'd guess it's
Well-
surface of the dirt to the flow line of the pipe. is what I
There's
think.
one spot here that shows, what, 3.15? 5.5, I don't know, what that can't be right. No, 5.5, so I don't know what that 3.5.
Some of it was a ditch already, so some of them are distances to the bottom of the ditch, some are to the natural surface that was there before.
Yeah.
Must have been some semblance of a ditch there before.
So maybe that,
It's taking longer than I thought. Okay.
Sorry, that's right.
so. I mean, it'd probably be good for an engineer to be involved just to determine, if it needs to be
What would?
lowered or just down to the original grade.
Yeah.
This is section 23.
I mean, money well invested, they part of your,
Oh.
your forms with the NRCS.
Yeah.
I imagine an engineer would have to get together with, somebody with a hose to determine
Yes.
elevations. What do you think, Susan?
I think that'd be the place to start, so we just know. Do we have records of what it was originally, the depth of that?
Yeah, it's on the original, engineering plans and it says an average depth of 6.4 feet, but if it's a 30-inch pipe, you know, that's cover maybe, 2.5 feet.
You know,
But that's average,
2 miles. Who did you say was the contractor on record, was it Robinson on that one?
We don't have, the contractor on record for what?
Who last worked on it or anything, or,
Oh,
that kind of information?
Yeah, there's,
I would have to look that up, I don't know.
there's obvious. Chris says she doesn't know, she'd have to look it up. I mean, it's obvious it's been repaired once because there's, some tar paper on the picture you showed.
Mm-hmm,
So somebody's wrapped tar paper around the seam before.
yeah.
That-
I would have to go back and look.
Yeah. So there's probably something in relatively recent history,
Yeah.
in the last decade anyway or so.
So when Alan asked for the improvement, was he just asking it to be put back to its normal depth, or does he want it?
Yeah,
He wants to deepen it, that's all.
yeah, if we're just gonna put it at the grade it was intended for, it might not necessarily be an improvement.
I just wanted to cover my bases.
Get somebody out there.
Did you wanna make the motion to, like, appoint Jacobson Westergaard as an engineer for it, or?
Well, do we think that it needs to be engineered to start with, or do we just need to have someone out?
Do you want me to just get a contractor to go look at it and see what needs to be done?
Yeah, cause if it's not gonna get above the threshold and it's not gonna be a repair, or I mean, improvement, then we can eliminate that expense.
I feel like
I think you need
that's
an
where I
engineer.
was going. I was thinking that we should out there to check it, because now it's just saying it needs to be even, we don't know what that means, you know,
Scott?
get a contractor out, have one.
Yeah, I think you could certainly do that, but I would think you'd need an engineer to prove what the elevation it currently is versus what it was originally supposed to be. Do some survey work like that, I would think.
I know Helgeson's they do some survey work, so if you got them, would that work, or?
Probably doesn't have the same gravitas as an engineer's report on it.
Right, I'm just asking in general.
I mean, that's what you're thinking.
I think if you're gonna change the depth of the pipe, it should have an engineer's approval and survey work.
Okay.
Mine,
Scott thinks that we should appoint an engineer
some point.
at some point, yeah. But if you're gonna do that, you just as well do it right away, so you know
I
what you're
would,
dealing
because
with.
they could do
I
the,
think the coordination between the person with the hoe and the engineer would be invaluable.
Yeah.
Both being there at the same time.
Yeah,
Well, you guys are looking at it, and so if you think you feel like that's the way to do it,
of course,
He signed an improvement. He knew that that was coming no matter what.
yeah. But he may not need it.
right,
He's also the engineer, or, you know, the contractor's also gotta know, there's an open spot already where, you know, you can assess the depth compared to what it was originally intended.
Has this been reclassified as any reason?
oh, I don't
Is
recall.
there any issues?
I would have to look at my spreadsheet.
Because if there's an improvement, it may have to be reclassified too.
Right, right.
I don't know, I guess my recommendation is to have an engineer work with the,
Oh, I did copy this. We haven't had it redone. The last assessment was in 1920. So I did print that to make sure. If we did an improvement, it would need to be reclassified.
Well, then we have to see what we get by. Go ahead, Susan.
so I wasn't hearing.
Oh, Chris, you wanna repeat?
Oh, I looked at the last reclassification and it was done in 1920. So if we did an improvement, we would need to reclassify it anyway.
Even if we're gonna do a major repair,
We
it
would
may
want
have
to.
to be reclassified.
Which takes an engineer, so.
Well, that kind of tells the story then, so, you can just get the engineer and the contractor to coordinate on that.
And maybe an engineer could say, well, if it were just lower to the original grade, we could be done with the engineer, they could do the reclassification because it needs it. And we could get a contractor to just do the lowering,
and we don't have to do any of the
NRCS. Mm-hmm,
keep it simple.
yeah,
But if there's a repair, it's not gonna hurt for the engineer to set those grades.
right, but it would be less because he wouldn't have to come up with estimates and all that. He could just come up with the grade,
Yeah.
do a simple look at it, not be so involved.
Yeah, just a one-stop.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, if you wanna,
So,
Susan,
I would,
can you talk into your phone a little more? We're having a hard time hearing you.
well, I'm out in the middle of Kansas, so I'll work on that. I'm on the road from Denver, going cross country here. Lots of irrigation systems going on out here. So I would make the motion, guys, that we would get the engineer involved and have him coordinate with the contractor to see what needs to be happening on that. Whether it actually needs to be lowered, if it's brought back to grade.
Are we,
So that's my motion.
are we naming an engineer yet, or?
Yeah, we could, because I
What?
did the action.
You want James Westergaard to do it?
That's fine with me.
Okay, I'll second her motion.
And a motion from Smith and a second from Derby to appoint Jacobson Westergaard as engineer to investigate regarding DD 89 possible improvement project. All in favor, say aye.
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 Okay,
All right.
and if you gonna coordinate between the engineer and our contractor there?
Yeah, I'll call Rick and then I'll see
Is
who
there
else is
any,
available.
is there any contractor that you would prefer, Susan?
Just local,
Right,
they're available.
Yeah,
so I would contract, yeah, I'll get that coordinated.
all right.
Okay, Chris will take care of that.
Right, do you want me to go get Chris?
Thank you.
All right, thanks you guys very much.
Thank you. Okay, back to open forum.
Okay.
Does Chris have something?
Yeah, Chris is gonna go get her. This is a correction, and this is a thing. There's that.
She's on the phone, just a second.
Okay.
Thank you. Hello.
Morning.
Good morning. You ready for open forum?
Yep, that's what.
Yep, we're right in the middle of it.
Okay, I just wanted to give you this fact sheet. There's a new OHV law that just went into effect July 1. You probably have heard a little bit about it.
I want to stay up here by the phone, so Susan, I want to be up closer to the phone for Susan.
Okay, well, this is the fact sheet that we got from the DNR. There's been a lot of questions about it because evidently you can ride now on Highway 969. Just if you're traveling, you know, it's your shortest route. I mean, you're not supposed to drive all the way down it. If you're going somewhere and you need to cross it or you got to ride on it for a little ways, you can do that, but you're not supposed to be riding down it. And before, you're not supposed to ride on it at all.
So it created a pretty good gray area.
Yeah, it did.
Hmm.
So there's been a lot of questions. That's how I understand it from this fact sheet. There's a lot of different questions. I asked her again this morning. I emailed Lori at the DNR, said, "Can you ride on 69?" And she said, "Ask the DOT."
So the way I understand it, say where you live, if you were gonna go to the town to get gas for your ATV, you could go right down 69 to get there, because there's no direct route to the gas station.
No, I mean, that's the closest route. I could take gravel and then go the back way, you know, across County Road back there and Snake Road, yeah.
According to this, sounds like you could do it.
Yeah. I don't think that was their intent, but that's the way it's kind of written,
After the
so.
fireworks last night in Buffalo, there was something coming, you know, I'm like, and it had the headlights really low, and it was coming down Highway 9 into town from the west.
Mhm.
It turned out to be a golf cart. Like really, LED lights on it, it was really bright. It was
Right.
going way down low, and I'm like, what? And they were close together, I'm like, what the heck is that thing? And they were
Yeah.
coming down Highway 9. So.
Well, the main thing about this law is now it's statewide. You know, every county used to have their own ordinance, and now this is all statewide. Anybody can ride
So
in
does
any
this
county.
mean that it went from opt-in to opt-out? Isn't there certain provisions where somebody can opt out of it?
I haven't seen that,
I thought there was,
but there could be.
because cities, I would think, can opt out, I don't know. counties.
Well, this says in here, somebody asked about, it says, can a fee be charged for off-way vehicles to be ridden on roadways on public property by any government or non-government entity? It says, no, cities may not charge a fee to operate, and I know where city does now, Lake Mills does, or they get a little sticker or flag if they want to ride in the city. Now, the way I'm understanding it is they can't charge, they just need the county registration, what we issue.
So, yeah, and it goes back to the farmers and their farm exempt and
There is a little provision for that, they just don't register it at all. They used to have a farm use only, which they haven't had for many years, but farmers that are exempt from registration, it says they, from one farm to another, yes, they can still do that.
they talked about the speed.
Yeah, I believe it's 35 miles an hour.
Yeah. That's what I thought. I've
So-
asked several law enforcement, even DNR, and they couldn't tell me.
So some of them four-wheelers that can go 55, 60, in theory, they're only supposed to be going 35.
Yeah, it's
kind
real
of a
easy to-
hazard on the highway.
It's easy to get it up on that speed. Yeah, if they're going that slow, I can see why you wouldn't want them going down Highway 69 or 9. But I don't know if we need to change the county resolution. It says regulated under this code section 321I, which is what this still is, I believe.
We should look and see their resolution referenced,
Yeah,
because I think it referenced just to the 321I.
I've got it here. It does say 32120B and 321-234A, which I don't know if that's still part of this. Yeah, it is. So, might be good to just update it. This is dated 2012.
It does at least require mufflers and a brake.
Bare
I don't know how
minimum,
that affects
bare
you.
bones requirements. Well,
Yeah.
All right. Well, maybe,
do you have an extra fact sheet?
Yes.
maybe we should put it on the agenda for next week to look at our resolution and how it's reflected within this new HF 2130.
Yeah, might be a good idea.
You wanna send it all to Kelsey?
Sure. And I think that's all I had for it. We're gonna be just handing out this fact sheet when people register a new one and kind of give them an idea. Hopefully we'll hear more. The DNR is trying to work their way through it as well as the DOT.
That's out in front of my shop, it's 35-mile-an-hour speed limit there, and I've seen some of them go by there at 55 or 60, zinging into town.
Yeah.
Back
So,
back in the beginning, the fear from the manufacturers when they were going about 35 is that the tires won't handle it. Now, a lot of people put road tires on.
and there's all shapes and sizes and speeds.
You still won't get a manufacturer to recommend anything over 35,
No.
no matter what tires you have.
It's so easy to tip if you have to turn it off, miss something.
But then they don't want to be sued either, so.
Yeah.
Well, thanks
All
for the
right, thank
information.
you. Yep.
Okay, consider for approval payroll claim. Are we done with the?
I think so.
We don't have auditors transfers on here.
These are continuation of last week's.
Oh,
These are just the assessors. She's not done proving the,
so these are already okay, they just need to be signed.
mhm.
page 5 of 6. And there's a page 6. Make sure they're not the wrong one. I'm sure what the 6th page would be.
Sometimes I just have blank pages at the end. I gotta put it back.
Must be some more payroll somewhere in there.
They're proofing them right now.
Oh,
So we're kind of in a
we got a lull here.
Proceed to the route. For 54 miles, continue straight.
Is that a GPS?
Susan, all we have left is the payroll. We're waiting on the last documents to be proofed, so I don't know if you want to hang on or.
All right, guys. Have a great week.
Yeah, you too.
All right, you too.
Bye.
All right.
Susan. Has left.
You know, for a district of this size, 30-inch tile was pretty good size.
Yeah, it is.
I think about the 24 that handled the DD11 upper.
Yeah,
Unbelievable, you know,
yeah.
that was under designed.
Yep. Yeah,
What's
that
this
one's-
one?
That one's draining a lot of
Curious.
area.
I wish there were dates on these, when this was designed. Had to have been later.
Later than the
Well, DD11 upper
nineteen
probably.
twenty she was talking about.
Oh, yeah, I suppose. That's still pretty good. Somebody put the money into this to get it done.
Yeah.
So DD11 was probably 10, 15 years before that.
Yeah.
Yeah, if it's been in there over 100 years, it's, yeah, just probably floated to the
Floated up
top.
over the years. And a little bit of, usually it's the low spots where they come up and they're, usually don't have erosion in the low spots. That's where a lot of the dirt goes, so. But, so it just must have floated up over the years. 'Cause boy, it's not very deep. It doesn't look like it's hardly a foot below where that damage is.
Yeah.
With today's equipment, you aren't gonna float across that. Not without a pretty tough pipe in there anyway. 100-year-old cement is probably.
So I've been working on this surtax. Get Kelsey got back to me with her opinions in red. So I contacted John down at the Department of Revenue. I'm not going that. While I'm waiting, I should forward him the email so he sees what the questions are. Let's see. You gonna make it to Grassley thing then?
Am I gonna make it?
Yeah.
They got me down on the list anyway.
Yeah, on the list. Also got Feenstra today, not tomorrow, Forest City.
have to talk to Joni. She was here not that long ago. I didn't even realize it. With her supporting the red flag law stuff, it gets pretty disappointing.
So was the information they presented on how these shifts and stuff for the public safety, or not, for the EMS, how it would work, was that clear to you at all? Or it seemed like it jumped around a lot from one plan to another? And then Barney threw in something else and kind of muddled it a little more.
I don't know. I understand the whole, why they want to do the county service, but I just feel like that if the services want to maintain their identity and we pay for a paramedic for each service or whatever, I feel like that's the better way to go.
There's no, because, people are talking about you can give them public funds to the private entities. There may be discretion on how it's spent or whatever, but if we just give them enough to pay, it wouldn't be an accounting in a sense, we would just be paying their salaries. And as long as all the salaries are the same,
Well, and it's like, it's a reimbursement, so,
that's legal, right? Because we're already doing it, because we're already giving it to the 75,000 for city, so it would be no different than that.
yeah. I mean, we'd have to have 28E and,
Yeah, and it's just a straightforward 28E. I mean, it shouldn't be that complicated to keep it private other than where the money comes from. And at the end of the meeting the other day when they're asking everybody, that's basically that seems to be the cleaner way, at least the simplest way in a sense, the county. Yeah, but also if they end up being an employee of that service, then there's also no insurance issues.
well, and that's what I think too, is talk about insurance issues and,
Even though we're already doing that because Four Cities employees are getting in our ambulances, so it's already going on. So it's not like we're creating a new problem, it's a problem we already have. And I guess that was one question I forgot to ask you tonight is I assume that them guys, I don't know, they operate under their own insurance or are they under the insurance of the ambulance service?
What guys?
When the paramedic gets in.
Cities. Sure.
Yeah, so so we're already doing that part of it. We're talking about hiring, there's 4 of them at one point, wasn't it?
There were 6 at one point, or hiring 4 more or something.
Well,
I don't know.
4 is about all we can afford with what we have.
It all depends on if Four City, if it's all under the county, if we can get Four City to kick in some of the money they're already taxing, say we can get 100,000 from them or something, just to have a facility here.
as a taxpayer, I look at it and go, so the county's gonna tax me for this, the city's taxing me for this.
But they're also taxing the Hancock County side too. So
It's
it's not
some,
all in
something
the,
like,
most of it.
something like to me that Fort City wanted to keep their own. And,
Well, Barney,
yeah,
Davey did.
oh, sorry. I can see why in a couple different directions.
But is that gonna create something where one is gonna work for the other back and forth?
They've already got that.
Yeah.
But, and then hire four more to rotate between the other two services, was that it, or? So we'd have,
Then there was another plan of possibly just supplementing what's there now with just a centralized during the week. So that's kind of two different plans,
yeah,
2 to 3 different plans.
I mean, even if we get a, necessarily need a paramedic, if they hire a couple of EMTs, at least the ambulance can roll.
Is this all of it?
No.
No.
but That's just stuff that I have to enter still.
Okay.
I mean, to me, as far as the least complicated way would be to have them hire the employees, and then we will reimburse for the salaries.
But will they be able to draw what they need with the benefits they can provide?
Wow, it's. The county benefits might be better, is that what you're saying?
Well, IFRS for one.
Yeah, well, wouldn't they,
Well,
you
I
would
suppose
qualify
Buffalo
for
Center
IFRS
is
under the, under,
not Buffalo Center, but not
Yeah.
like Mel's.
Yeah.
Not Fort City.
yeah,
Well, Fort City paramedics do, but not the EMS.
church yards,
Didn't you have a meeting this morning?
yes. Roger. Yep, now he'd be my brother-in-law's brother-in-law. Yep. Yeah, he was. He was a hard worker, and I always got along with him. Oh, okay, I guess. How about yourself? No, we're in limbo right now, though. I guess you're on YouTube if you want to watch. But we're waiting for the rest of the payroll stuff to come in so we can okay it, and then we're done. Yeah, but we're just kind of sitting around here discussing things, waiting for the payrolls.
Discussing how much EMS money we can get from Cassuth.
Who's that, Terry? Oh, no, he won by 2 votes. They did a recount. Yeah, he doubled his vote total, yes. Yeah, or margin of victory, I should say. Roger says congratulations.
Thanks, Roger.
Yep, yep. Yep.
Bill gets to sign all these.
I tell you, we've got everything running so peaceful over here. We were just discussing EMS before you called, and we were trying to figure out how much money we can get out of Cassuth County for a little part of them that we cover. We're gonna try. We're going through the process of, we've got a committee of citizens that are trying to decide which is the best direction for us to go. Yeah, lesser the evils, that would be about right, yeah. Yeah, one. Yeah, and we're half of that, so. Yeah, you just try and make it as good as you can, I guess. Yeah. But, yeah, and we don't have a lot of calls in Cassuth, but, I know Worth County, they reimburse, Lake Mills ambulance. And then Hancock reimburses Forest City, and well, I guess Worth County does a little bit for Forest City too. But, it's, yeah, well, I don't know whether the easiest route would probably just be every time a call is in the county that there's a certain amount that the bills should be or whatever. Okay. Well, we're all searching for that silver bullet, but it's pretty elusive. But, no.
I've been corresponding with John Wolf on that surtax thing.
Yeah.
Kelsey said I should challenge him on his information and get an official opinion.
Yeah, but
So that's where we're
they're
gonna
also
get the official
only have to
opinion.
go on 10 to 15 calls a year, where the ambulance people got to go out 150 times. It's, so it's much more of a commitment,
He's like, calls me up this morning.
ambulance
So
wise.
I was a little confused by your emails. So this is the deal. People that are challenging what you sent out, it's quite a bit of difference.
I'll tell you what, as soon
Yeah,
as I have been educate myself with infinite wisdom, I'll come over and share it with you.
So he's gonna look into it, try to get some opinions above his head.
Okay.
That'd be nice.
Yeah.
I said, we're kind of at the point we need to know. So I forwarded him the conversations between Daisy and myself. And
Well, that's just
Chelsea,
it,
So he gets to see all that question and answer that we have.
Yeah.
Kelsey's more of the opinion.
I'm gonna
of
walk
Daisy
out of it.
was figuring, and
Wayne, you just said all.
then she kind of explains that 20% clause, you can't do more than 20% on the surtax. Doesn't make it clear, so it sounds, she made it sound like if you have school taxes that have up to 19% of your income, then we can't go over 1%. I didn't understand that fully still, but, so does that mean if the school taxes only constitute 5%, can we go 15%? But the code says 1%. So the schools get first choice on that percentage of 20.
But it just has a little extra, what it should have put stuff. There's not anything good at this point, so I'm too hard.
time out to your acreage then?
We're out there this weekend. It's a lot of work. A lot of trees fell over the winter and
They continue to fall at our place all the time. Every time there's a wind. Yeah. more branches. How many acres did you get?
9.4 or something.
Yeah, we got 7. Yeah. A lot of trees.
Mhm. You know,
You have to clear more openings then.
no, it just need to clean it up. We need to go out there with some Roundup. All of a sudden, the thistles are bad out there. They weren't like that before. Now all of a sudden, there's some thistles out there.
Just do some spot roundup then.
There is something that gets in the way of what people want.
Now, there's quite a few places in North Iowa recently that they aren't even mowing their lawns. Just let her go. There's one north of Leland, and there's one over by Chris Dean's place on the other side of the highway to the north. A couple gals that are married that just let it go.
What's that yellow flower that is that,
Parsnip.
yeah. There was some of that in there too that I hadn't noticed before.
Sure it's the parsnip, or is it, there's another wildflower that's in the ditches that isn't parsnip. It's something that finches love.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know how to tell the difference.
My wife was telling me about that. I can't remember
I just stayed away from it either way because I didn't know.
So were you making a comment earlier about the fact that I've got to sign every one of these and write vice chair to you? Good thing my hands are getting better.
And we're not done yet.
Yeah.
Suppose we had to do this because of the timing of the holiday.
Yeah. We didn't have Monday for her to do payroll, so she's trying to get it all done this morning and
We need to get a vice chair stamp too. My stupid stamp is still sitting on my desk. I keep forgetting to bring it here and leave it here.
I took mine out of my bag too. Figured when I wasn't chair anymore, I wouldn't need it hardly at all.
Yeah. I've been gonna bring it forever and I just sit right there in the middle of my desk, right in front of me. But I never look at it when I leave to come here.
you can always just leave it in my vault. That way it'd be here if you need it.
No, that's why I'm just gonna bring it and leave it here. I don't even know why I took it home.
Here is, I don't worry about that at home. It's there somewhere.
Well, at least I left it somewhere where I can find it.
So who was it that died then?
Troy Lout,
Is it a no?
he's Dwayne Cooper, my brother-in-law, would be his wife's brother. He works construction, runs backhoes and stuff.
Melissa Vout.
She works for public health.
That would have been her husband.
She used to work at Wigan here is.
No.
She works for public health right now.
Let's do that.
Oh, yeah, it's just awful. So I wrote Bill Jones, hold on the line, and then instead of writing vice chair underneath it, I wrote Bill Jones again.
least you know. I will try to distract.
Yeah, it really is. Some minds are easily distracted.
Go buy a printer for my house. Went to a laser printer instead of the inkjet. Still struggling a little bit with getting it to work with my computer.
In fact, here's your thing right here. Wasn't it all stapled together with one stamp on it before, payroll?
It was a computerized list that we just stamped and signed. But because-
That'll come. When Chelsea's done with the whole thing.
Yeah, he didn't make it around the corner by Howard Julius's. 14 minutes before the call came in for the ambulance and stuff, my brother-in-law hung up on the phone. So hoping that he didn't get distracted by his phone when he came into that curve. It was going too fast. But I was looking at it, I'm like, with where the vehicle ended up at, I don't know. That was just, makes me sick when I think about it.
When we close gravity, we'll pay.
You see Chris has been out putting up signs.
hand those over to her quick and see where she's at.
All right. I'll go with that.
So basically, they can start there, and then in the meantime, for these other services, you'll see the contract in place to, we'll just kind of get by for now. But most of the services are already in place. Yeah. Well, that kind of answers my question, what we're looking to get accomplished here, to complete it anyway.
So Chelsea says they probably won't, she won't be done with payroll until this afternoon.
Oh,
So
really?
I don't know how you want to handle that, but
Okay, so. Most of the services that Sandy was handling before can be done right now through that. It's just like the burial things and the ones that they don't do that we are funding. We need to get the contract, the 28E together for that.
okay.
So I don't know if we can coordinate with Worth County. They haven't got theirs done yet either. They're working on it, so maybe we can just duplicate what they're doing, and if it's the same services.
Okay.
But anybody that needs rental assistance right now, or WIC or anything like that, they can just go to that office a block north here.
Chelsea says that she's not gonna be done payroll until this afternoon, so I don't know how you wanna handle the payroll.
It's okay to sign it next week, or?
So, yeah, I would say, okay, we've done that before.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion to approve the payroll claim.
I'll second it. A motion from Derby, a second from Jesbo to approve the payroll claims. All in favor, say aye.